Hi everyone, my name is Lisa. I'm a 36-ish single woman living in the greater Cleveland metro area, and I'm on a journey to make the next part of my life better than the first by tackling debt, becoming a minimalist, investing in my future, and sprinkling in some craft projects here and there. What I'm setting up now is some yearly layouts that I can use throughout the year as a reference point and some high-level tracking. The first part of the video is a setup, and the second is actually filling out the trackers a little more in depth. The first layout that I'm setting up is really just a bills at a glance section. I'm using this as a reference to make sure that all my bills are paid every month and as a reminder of all the yearly subscriptions I'm currently signed up for. It is broken down into 4 parts, which is monthly, yearly, my credit, and my variables. So the second page is just a yearly income estimator to really break down how much I'm expected to make this year and where it should all be going. And the next page is my debt payoff plan for the year. So while this layout is being drawn, I want to take a moment to apologize about my hand. I generally test markers or will just draw on my hand just for any good reason, and as you can see here, I definitely got a lot of that in while setting this up today. Also, while this is one of my longest layouts that I'm doing, I would like to let you guys know that I am currently in a Scribbles That Matter bullet journal that I got off of Amazon. It is definitely a very white-paged book, and it actually writes like a charm, and I've actually been using at least a Scribbles That Matter for at least for about a year now, I would say. It is definitely one of my favorite books. Okay, so back to the layout. So I am breaking these down into 12 separate boxes. Each box is going to be labeled the month, January through December. And eventually, when we get to the debt payoff plan, these will all be filled out with at least what I'm hoping to accomplish that month, just so I have a way to hold myself accountable, which is something that I haven't really done before. The last setup that I'm going to do before I kind of slow us down and really go through everything is my sinking funds log. These are this setup is a little bit different than you guys have probably seen in other bullet journals. I'm only planning on really trying to track 6 major sinking funds this year. I'm going to have a lot of other sinking funds, but these are the ones that I really want to start, and these are a little bit more of my longer term kind of sinking funds. All right, now that everything is laid out, I'm going to slow us down a little bit and just kind of walk through some of these setups. So this page I never actually set up before on screen because I had set everything up beforehand. But this has all of my debts paid off, and I only have Costco, City Rewards, Amazon, my car, my Mazda, my student loans, and my house that are left over. So what I'm doing now is I'm going through and actually marking out how much total debt that I have left, and each one of the lines that I'm currently drawing, I believe is marked out by $100 dollars a piece. So as you can see, like I owe Costco $2,000. It's actually a little bit less than 2,000. When I set this up, it was I think like 1,900-ish or something about that. When we get into my monthly trackers and my weekly payout, I actually will have that written down a little bit better. City Rewards, actually that's right. I put City Rewards and Costco, so I actually switched the two. I owed City Rewards about $1,900, and then my Mazda. I have a little bit over $8,000 left, and my student loans I'm leaving alone, and my house I was actually waiting on my refinance to go through before I could actually put the full amount that I owe there. So going back to my bills at a glance, I'm trying to fix everything here as I'm doing it. the marker that I used really isn't the best. So for my monthly, I have everything that I'm paying monthly out. So my house, my cable, my electric, my car payment, my car insurance, my gas, my water, my sewer, and uh, my cell phone, my vet, my student loans. Those are everything that I pay on the month. And I'm actually going through and writing down the due date on here. So my house generally due on the 31st. Um, uh, oh, sorry, switched over to variables. Hulu, Spotify, and CVS, which I had forgotten to add in, are in my variables because they do go up and down and I can turn them off and on. My credit cards, Amazon, City Rewards, and Costco, they're the only ones that I've left. And my yearly subscriptions, currently it's an umbrella policy that I bought last year, uh, my Costco membership, and my Amazon Prime. So now I'm going back in and filling out my monthly uh, due dates for all of my bills. I don't actually know these offhand at all, mainly because I pay for them either at the end of the previous month or the beginning of the new month. So as long as I pay everything, I pay everything all at once. So I can't really. I don't really have them written down as much as I used to just because of the way that I pay for everything. So, my income estimation. So, this is my year at a glance. So, I'm running through my income, my pay, how many times I'm getting paid, and the total amount for the year. On the end, you're going to see a percentage. I really want to try to break down at a certain point how much my pay is going towards my bills, my versus my debt versus just me kind of randomly spending a lot of money. So, as you can see, I'm estimating my paycheck as 1975. I get paid twice. I get paid bi-weekly, and I get at a minimum one expense check a month for $75 for my car payment, or I'm sorry, for my cell phone. Um, so next I'm going to run into my bills, and this is broken down a little bit different than how most people break down their bills. Mine is broken down into my accounts versus my, sorry, you can see my dog kind of off the angle there. But mine are broken down by accounts and not by bills or at what point I pay the bills. I have three accounts that my bills go into. The first one is Chase. From Chase, I pay my car, the monthly vet bill. I have an autosave to not get a fee, and then all of my variables go in there. So my autosave is $25 every time. I think there's more than $1,000 that gets deposited into my account. Um, my car payment is $200 every paycheck. My vet is technically $42 every paycheck. I allot for it. I think it's like $45 a month total. And then my variables I'm estimating out at 370 per paycheck. And then we're going to total these out at the end, I believe. Yes, we did. All right, so my next one, super simple. It's Capital One, and I only have one account that, or one deposit that goes in there, and that is for my city tax fund, and that is literally 1% of my paycheck. That goes in there every payday as a savings for my city bill, my city tax that I have to pay. My last is my Capital One. This is my monthly bill section, and this is broken down into all of my four walls, all of my variables uh, are all put into this account, and I had set this up uh, a year ago, almost a year ago to the day. I had ended up setting all of this up because that way, if I break down my paycheck and my monthly bills are in a separate account, I cannot touch that money and I don't have to worry about it. So I moved everything over to a Capital One 360. At the time, I was getting a 1% interest rate on it, so I would let it go until the end of the month, get my interest rate, then pay my bills. It was an extra dollar or two I could make every month. So anyway, this is breaking down my mortgage. So I put down 260 for my mortgage, 55 for my cell phone, 30 for my car insurance, 56 for my electric, 34 for my gas, 42 for my internet, $8 for Spotify. Um, I do put my student loans in here, even though they were deferred most of last year, and comes to find out they are going to be deferred most of this year too. That is 139 a paycheck. My water is $5. I will get into that, but I really don't make a payment on my water bill anymore. Sewer and trash is estimated at $22 a paycheck, and that is going up because we just got a new trash company. And the last is Hulu, which I am estimating out at 33, but that is a variable expense. So that does go up and down. The same thing with Spotify. But everything stays in this account, and at the end of the month, I do go down, or I do go and pay everything either at the end of the month or the beginning of the month. I still try to get my interest on it, but everything is paid off. So now I'm just going to run through, put some fancy lines in, like all of the other Bujo people out there, um, and total out my expenses for the year. Uh, I guess I could have gone into a little bit more detail while I was waiting for these lines to be drawn, but it's been a while since I've actually filmed this before I'm actually kind of doing a voiceover, and this is my first voiceover that I've ever done, so I apologize in advance for how bad it is. It is also very strange to record your voice while you're drawing something. Like the whole YouTube thing like is kind of boggling my mind, and I'm still trying to kind of figure it out. So please give me some grace in this. If you have any tips, uh, video editing software, voiceover software, how to not be freaked out about hearing your voice on a voiceover, please let me know in the comments. Um, so we are still going down to totaling. And I did slow this down. I usually watch all of my videos at like 2x on YouTube, and I kind of understand now why they are as slow as they are, because if you are editing and you're trying to do a voiceover, like, that is pretty hard. And the editing software that I have won't actually let me speed up some of this, and then slow it down again so I can actually do some good voiceovers. But it is what it is, and I'm over it. Alright, so my estimated take-home pay is running at $51,350. And my expense checks are running at $900. Normally, my expense checks are a little bit more, and my pay is also a little bit more, but I'm underestimating because I had actually just changed my 401k, so I wasn't actually sure how much I was going to get. So I'm estimating $52,250 for the entire year, and that is just my take home. I don't really, anything that is gross, I don't even worry about. It is literally the only thing that I worry about is what I take home. Alright, so going through my Chase bills, my car payment is costing me $5,200 a year. My vet is costing me $1,092 a year. Autosave is costing me $650, and my variables are running around $96.20 a year. So adding that all up is $637 a month, or I'm sorry, a paycheck. And it is going to run me about $16,562 for the year. And my city tax fund is literally $546. It is 1% of my income. That is what I put in to that fund. And going down, my mortgage, this is actually an overestimate. Now that I know how much I'm paying, but it's pretty close. But that's going to cost me $67.60 a year. My cell phone is $14.30 a year. Car insurance is running at $780. My gas, my electric is $14.56 a year. Gas is $884. Internet is $1,092, which I wish I could get it lower, or I pay the same price at a higher rate. Spotify is running $208 a year. My student loans, if they were active, would be $36.14. My water, if I paid it, would be about $130. My sewer and trash is $572, and my Hulu is $858. So that runs me a total of $17,784 for the year as a general estimate. Oh, sorry. Per month, $684. I actually move $775 every paycheck into this account. And that accounts for any overages or anything else that I might need. But I usually end up adding it into the debt snowball, or we'll keep it into my savings depending on what I need it for that month. But now my yearly expenses are going through, and that's going to be $17,784 for the year. So now I'm going to figure out how to do percentages. And my yearly monthly bill pay percentages are running at 34%. The 546 divided by my income, it's 1%. I think it's a little bit over 1% depending on how I'm doing it, but I literally put 1% into that account, so it is 1%. And my car, vet, autosave, and variables is running at 32%. So I am literally checking my balances to make sure that they both add up, and they are pretty darn close. Now, the autosave obviously is 1%, a little bit over 1% based on what I'm paying. So, but I end up totally, I'm at, what is that, 69% of my pay is approximately, there we go, 35. About 69% of my pay goes into all of my bills, which I think is actually a fantastic amount. That means that I could save at a minimum 30% after the rest of my bills are paid off and things like that. So, Now I'm going to wait for me to catch up and start writing down my actual breakdowns. All right. So at the bottom, I am breaking down my total amount. So I'm pulling my income, and if you notice here, I'm putting 1975 in and not adding in my expense check for that. Um, that is because I only get it once a month, so I really want to pay attention to what I'm actually getting bi-weekly, which is guaranteed. So I threw in my bills at 637, my tax at 21, and my second bills of 684. Those are my monthly bills, which should leave me left over about 633. So that means 633 every paycheck should be going to my sinking funds and debt snowball. Also, I do want to take a moment to apologize. I was actually using a webcam on this to see how good this would actually film. It was supposed to film in 1080, and it does not look like it's actually filming in 1080, so it's a little bit off. Anyway, so we're going to go into the debt payoff plan and what my plans to pay off in January or to complete paying off were my Amazon, my City Rewards, and my Costco. And in February, I wanted to pay off City Rewards if that wasn't paid off. And based on what I had estimated, just kind of from some of the money that I had saved up and everything that I had kind of put together, and I was actually working on the plan on this while I was actually writing this out, but I had planned on taking $3,800, paying off Amazon, City Rewards, Costco, and I was also planning on February to finishing off City Rewards if I needed to. I was going to have $1,200, which is when I assumed that the stimulus fund was going to come in, and also the $1,200 or so that I was going to save for the debt snowball to really finish paying off the City Rewards. So March is when I plan on paying off or working on snowballing my car payment. I have 2 years left, I think, actually. But I had planned on getting either the stimulus fund or my refinance check. And April, I just generally tend to have my tax refund, and the $1,200 there was also going to be my debt snowball. So I really am shooting to pay my car off by August of this year. I've actually since updated this, and I really want to try to get my car paid off by May. And yeah, so this last little bit, which I will actually kind of stop talking about, but all I am really doing in here is just adding in all of the months of the year, which is why there's no line at the very bottom of the page, and that annoys me too, but next time I'll have to really lay it out. But for this At the end of every month, I am going to put in how much I added or removed from each one of these major sinking funds, and just kind of get a high level overview of what is actually going on. I do have big plans, um, as in, I do want to start saving up for a new car, even though I'm currently paying off my current one, but I mean, it's only a matter of time. I also need to save up for a new house and for some home upgrades. Uh, I have a plan to pay off my house in 5 years, and within those 5 years, I also want to dump probably $30,000 into my house to really get it to a point where I can sell it at the highest market value. So even if I pay my house off, I can live in it and love it, or I can sell it and move to something that I love even more. Travel is just something that I really want to do. I want to go visit my dad at a certain point this year. Home decor is just a general home decor. I have some big purchases that I want to make this year, and home maintenance is another one. Most of my appliances are older than me, so I really need to start a sinking fund so not everything goes up into goes back on my credit card. So anyway, that's about it for my yearly setup. And I'm sorry that I got really talky, but if you have, if you stuck around this entire time, thank you. And please like and comment. Please consider describing and subscribing. Wow. And we hopefully I'll see you guys all in the next video. All right. Thanks, guys. It has been pretty awesome to upload my first video. All right, bye.